dripping down around you. There's the crack through the floor here. The Medusa slides like up into the ceiling, and you see before you a room that's about 35, 40 feet east to west, 35, 40 feet north to south. Seems to be in a cross position. There are pot sherds all through the floor of this place. There are three different points where the room is glowing with light. One to the north is kind of a pink, almost like misty kind of smoking glow. One straight ahead of you, and you can see a sarcophagus between you and that point, and one to the south of where you all are. But other than that, you see these pot sherds like broken all across the ground. There are terracotta statues all throughout this room, and I believe Kubazan within Kyranos, upon seeing them all, was just thirsting for destruction and said, "We should smash as many of these as we can. Now, smash them." And unless you guys have any other thoughts about what we did last week, that's where we're going to pick up.
Uh, I just might be remembering it wrong, but wasn't it Wongo who told Henry to destroy the terracotta statues?
Oh, that could be my mistake. Those two are far too close to each other. They both have the same MO, so I wouldn't be surprised. If you give me a second, though, I'll find it. Yeah, my bad. It was Wanga, so it is Sue Henry. So there's essentially the door is realistically right in front of Henry. When you kind of look out of this room, there's dim enough light that you can spot a lot of things, but the floor of this entire place is covered in this broken clay pottery. There's very little space where you can find places where there is not shattered remains of pottery. But when you kind of like look around, you can see that within the room, there's kind of like a 5 foot outer area where these statues are not. And that's relatively the safest area that you have. The pottery is vastly inside of these warriors, and then in particularly in this like straight line between you and the sarcophagus in front of you.
So Kyranos is going to step in, um, maybe trying to at least to start not disturbing the pot, any of these pot sherds. But he does want to take a look and see. They seem to be um, like the same material as these terracotta warriors. Do they seem to be actual like shards of like just regular pottery?
Are you doing a visual inspection, or is this more like manipulative and actually physically touching?
I would say he's going to start with a visual inspection, but if essentially he decided he needed to pick like some of these up to get a better idea of kind of the form, he would do that. But probably start with a just visual inspection.
Gotcha. Let me get a perception from you. And then what's your stealth modifier as you try to step without touching uh the
Uh,
potsherds?
Stealth would be +5.
Gotcha. So you do a pretty good job of kind of manipulating your footwork to step through. Um, Currently have the ram's head lit up with light.
Yes.
I guess really I should say, do you cast light on it again? Since like stepping into the dim light here, because technically you guys I left out that all of those rooms were anti magic. Um, so
Oh,
kind
right,
of
right.
relighting the lamb's head as you kind of step out to bring a little bit better light onto the situation so you can better avoid those pot sherds on the ground. I think that sounds like a pretty viable thing. You would see that your magic now works. You can step out of that room, avoiding like cracking any new pot sherds. Um, can't really see in the best confirmation, but it's enough to basically tell yourself this is the same clay. Um, I would say it's probably not enough to say, these are just more of these warriors, or could it have been something else? I think it's enough to say you can identify the color of the clay is the same.
Gotcha. Okay. And is the light to the north, is that the only one that seems different than the other two light sources, right? Is that the only one that's kind of throwing off the more pinkish, misty?
Yeah, the two north or east and south of you seem to be similar. And then the one to the north definitely is giving off different vibes.
Ernie will like follow Kiranos in the room, while holding her bow like almost on the ready. I'll tell him, I think there's something wrong with these statues. We should destroy them all.
The moment you say, I think, to Kiranos, you'll watch as all of the statues turn, look at you, and their swords draw 2 inches out of their scabbards, and then nothing else.
So Kyranos is going to, as this happens, he's going to turn towards Ernie and kind of like point towards him, and then he's going to cast a message to tell him silently, remember the warning: the army sleeps in silence. And then, just for a good measure, kind of like hold his finger up to his lip in like a shush motion as well.
Ernie won't answer out loud, but she will like put up her bow, like it's just trying to indicate that we should destroy them before they do anything to us. But at the moment, she isn't actively attacking anything.
I think so. Kyranos is. Does there look like there's like any possibility of trying to essentially like tiptoe towards the sarcophagus without disturbing these potsherds?
Any possibility? It's a possibility. Would it be difficult? Potentially, but you could certainly try.
Yeah, so Kyranos is going to kind of he'll like, gripping his staff, he'll kind of nod towards Ernie, like towards the bow, like kind of like in a be ready sort of indication, and he is going to um, attempt to kind of move toward the sarcophagus, trying to move uh, essentially trying like on his toes, trying to like kind of step around the pieces.
Henry gonna go with him.
And that she will.
Are your others, Halzers and Zeros, going to go as well?
I think Zeros is going to move into the room, but stay behind. Maybe like just like trying to keep an eye on these things. But he's thinking there might not be enough free space for us all to move at the same time. So maybe if they can get through, maybe he'll then try to follow in their path. But for the moment, staying kind of back towards the entrance.
I think Halser would stay with him. Nothing else to make sure that we're not alone any place.
My bad. So do you think she's gonna step in and join you all, or is she gonna?
Yeah, she would basically be like standing where she is now, just inside the room with the
Gotcha.
sparrows.
So I started with a stealth check from all of you all just to move in. With them moving in as you two move deeper, it's just going to be a straight group check here. If each of you want to toss 2d20 and then just let me know your total modifiers, I don't have to roll them in secret as you approach it.
All right, so looks like that would be a 10 for Kyranos and a
It's going to be
13.
group, so
Gotcha. Okay.
15. So you've got 5 and 3, so plus 8. What's Henry?
Plus 6 for me.
Oh, plus 6, my bad.
Yeah, Zeros only has plus 1.
Henry's like a plus 9 to stealth, or plus 11. And then what's Halser?
+9 to stealth for Ernie and +2 for Holster, so a total of a +11.
Yeah, so I think as you all kind of step in, the two of them kind of move just inside of the room. Two of you are able to slowly, methodically, kind of moving between some of these figures along like these main lines, kind of stepping on like smaller, kind of like already broken grains, making sure to like not like step on areas where some pot sherds are like stacked on other ones to where you have like a big kind of disintegration of multiple layers. Every single step with a little bit more care from the last. You do kind of get closer and closer to the sarcophagus, where you will see that it has the kind of symbol of the Kumadan, which is like a leopard with like these 6 snakes kind of coming out of its shoulders. And as you approach this coffin, I think this one you're going to find is kind of pretty austere, and it seems to be hinged along like the northern side. Uh, but yeah, what would you like to do upon closer examination of it?
So Kyranos is going to be inspecting the hinges. They appear to be rusty and in good working order. Trying to decide if thinks they can get it open without making too much noise.
You could do a perception check if you wanted to give it a little bit of extra kind of viewing, but otherwise, yeah, it seems for being austere, this thing is otherwise in good enough condition here. Um, but do you want to
I
see
mean,
if you can spot anything else?
he'd mostly just be looking for like visible signs of rust, like discoloration or.
Yep, first impression would kind of sit along that idea of doesn't seem to have any sort of like patina to it or any signs of oxidation.
Yeah, so with that, he'll kind of, with a look towards Ernie, kind of give a raise in his eyebrows and kind of put his hand on the sarcophagus, like ready to go to try to open it. Simply looking for Ernie's like assent.
Yeah, I mean, she would give a slight nod. Open it.
And with that, Kyranos will indeed attempt to move to try to open the sarcophagus. Probably moving a little bit slowly, like hesitantly. Um, Kind of listening
Okay.
for like creak of the wood or something like that.
Alright. So you're gonna kind of like open it slowly just to see if it's making any sort of sound as you do open it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me have you roll a perception check here. So as you're lifting the lid, it's not locked. Doesn't seem to have any resistance to it. And as you get it about 10 or 15% open, you feel like a little bit of kind of a click as something seems to kind of give way. And in an instant, a soft musical melody starts to play through this whole room as a musical box inside of the sarcophagus starts to play music, and all of the warriors are drawing their swords. I need you guys to roll for initiative. Oh, I didn't even notice that I had old initiatives on there. I don't know if you guys can see those. A whole lot of no good ways to do this. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just have them going on every fifth initiative. So I'm gonna start them with one quarter of them going on 20, one quarter on 15, and one quarter on 10, like that. Only a couple of terracotta warriors. And action economy dictates that if you have more actions than somebody else, you're going to win over time. So, with that in mind, I'm about to attack you guys with 12 terracotta warriors. Um, what AC does everybody have as I go for 4, think attacking each of you here?
Kyranos is 13, with no ability to buff that, and Zeros is 12.
Both Ernie and Halser have 16 in armor class.
All right. So, 16. I should have 6 hit. Target number for 10 rolls. Let's see. Oh, that's if 10 are attacking. I'm doing that wrong. 16 with that. Target number should be 3. And then 13. Okay, I see how this is going. All right, so we're going to do 1 hit on Henry, 1 hit on Halser. And then this for the 13. We're going to do 2 hits on Kyranos. And then you said 12 for Zeros. Um, that'll be 3 hits on Zeros. So, um, this is gonna be one of those things where it's not gonna be the most realistic of things because I want to kind of jet through these guys using the kind of massive combat. But one thing that I think is kind of necessary for these things is just as much of their movement is used to like get to you as it is to then like clear and get away from the space as well. Um, and I think that's going to be like a lot of what they do is like moving on top of one another and then moving away from you guys, so that there's usually quite a few of them and swinging at you guys. As this room's just going to be a fuster cluck here. Um, so we're going to do one hit on Henry. Should be for 8 piercing damage. And then one hit on Halzer for 7 piercing damage. And then we've got 2 on Kyrnos and 3 on Zeros. That fucking sucks.
Well, I
Kyrnos,
mean,
that should be 9 for you. That one on Zeros, though, that's going to be 23.
yeah, I mean, Zeros was going down probably with one hit anyway, one or two at the most. So he is unconscious. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was already in the.
Yeah, because after the fire from the first trap room, yeah.
How many hit points did he have there?
I believe he had 6 left. So
I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything here, but I have a feeling we should just call him dead right now. Um, I'll
yeah, I
put
mean
2
with all
more
these,
attacks into him that finish it, but in the long run, I should have paid attention to that. So, um, we'll
yeah,
take that.
yeah, with that many swarming over him and him that literally cling to life, I don't see how he survives.
We'll keep it for now, though, that he's just unconscious. If you roll a 20 on his turn and he stands up, all the better for the epic nature of rolling a high die. But yeah, I'm going to essentially theoretically swarm and kill him next turn because also, among other things, these guys have 2 attacks. That was kind of rounded for them having 1 attack, which theoretically covers some of them not being able to get to you here, whereas they're just going to get tighter and tighter around you guys. But it will go to you here, Kiranos, for the first chance, as you guys are basically, again, these things are swarming on you like ants. Just think of they're like moving in between each other, stabbing into flesh, and then like almost like stepping out as others like march through. These things are coordinated, singular mindset, or not
Yeah,
even singular mindset, like a singular mind, how they're like marching into and between each other, stepping out after attacking, kind of thing.
yeah. So Kyrnos is going to, well, first thing he's going to do is drop the lid of the sarcophagus he was holding back down. Um, and kind of as he's doing that, kind of like the hand with his staff, trying to essentially kind of hold him at bay for a moment, long enough to give him an opening to launch a fireball. And I think he is going to. Maybe he thinks there's something weird going on with that pinkish mist, so he's going to. I mean, they're surrounded on all sides. But they've moved from that end, so maybe he's going to throw it to the south, try to clear as many of these as he can, something like that. I guess something he doesn't want to hit Ernie or himself, but try to get as many as he can.
So 18, your DC is 16. This should work in the same way if I do. Give me 6 that pass for 32. So these things are not. I did want to make sure that they didn't have a fire resistance. They're not terribly resilient. You do have a bunch of them shatter as the actual like blast wave of the fireball kind of explodes in this room. Theoretically, I'm going to save 6 of these 18 who I've got under there. And we'll move on to give you one chance to see if Zero stands up with the 20.
Yep, I'd say anything other than that, he's dead. So,
Good time to use that inspiration, though, if you'd like.
uh, yeah, I might as well. Yep, I'll give him inspiration on this. Nope.
Alrighty. And then I'm going to do another group. Ooh, I should have actually. How many are in here? All right, another group of 6 are going to swarm onto you guys. I'm just going to do this one setup. So there are 2 attacking each of you. No way to do this one. So, was it 4 attacks on each of you? We'll do 2 on Halser on this one. So, do Halser first. What is that? A +4. So both of those should hit on Halser. Doing a total of 10 damage, piercing, and then 4 on Henry. 4 hits. Well, with the crit kind of doubling is 4. So 2 normal ones and then the crit. So 9 damage. And then 14 total piercing damage. And then this will be the ones on Kyranos. Um, the 8 will miss. You said your AC was 13.
Yep, so it should be 3 hits.
That's going to be a total of 16.
And that will take him down.
Right, I'm going to start with you. You are surrounded and swarmed by these things. There's no shortage of them. Kind of thoughts do you have going through your head as you've watched 2 of your friends fall?
Well, fuck. Knew we should have destroyed those statues. Um, yeah, she's gonna use her Mistwalker armor. I'm not sure if this is gonna be good or bad, but yeah. So that's a fog. What is it? Fog cloud? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Second
That's
level.
like a 20-foot radius around you.
Yeah, let's see. It's 20-foot radius when you. It says it's supposed to be cast as a second level, so that would be using a spell slot turn. Fog clouds. When you cast a spell using a spell slot, second level can increase 20. So that's a 40-foot radius. It's second level.
Yeah, so I think you're going to coat this entire room in darkness.
Yeah, for everyone but me, because in addition, fog doesn't obscure my vision. But that's my action. As a bonus action, I'm gonna second wind to give myself a bit more HP.
Gotcha. And then what would you like to do with Halser when you get to that state?
Well, Halter is kinda screwed being surrounded, but yeah. I guess Word of Radiance? And that's everyone within 5 feet of me. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you 5 of them right now.
And they must succeed a con save or take damage. Let's see.
What's your DC on that one? DC 15. So 5, I rolled a 6. It should be 1 saves.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, one
save stuff.
saves. So for 5 damage.
Yeah, not much, but I'm not sure if she'll survive that long. But still, she will use her bonus action to harness divine power to gain myself a second level spell slot.
Gotcha. Well, the negative thing that's going to happen here is Einri is going to watch as these things continue to move as if nothing has changed. These creatures have blind sight. Fighting in the darkness changes nothing for them.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
so sadly, while I think that was a good idea, these are not the creatures that it's going to be effective on.
Quick question: when Kyrnos dropped the lid back down, did the music stop playing from within, or can we tell? Or well, Kyrnos is down now, so
My bad. There's essentially like a chord that starts it, and then the other thing is you get like the one warning that making sound is dangerous in here. The second sound is all it takes for them to come alive.
gotcha. Okay, I wasn't sure if like it was like if things went quiet again, they would stop. So I was just curious.
Yeah, there's nothing good about this room. Without Wango, you have no sense of just try to destroy everything as soon as you can. Because even with Wango, it's still one of those things of if you don't start by attacking them, um, it's just that level of there's so many. So yeah, this next set, I didn't technically kill off Zeros yet, so I should apply some to Zeros, but that also includes applying some to Kyranos. So who do I have living before you go again? It is all of them. So there's still 36 alive. Um, I mean, I could do like 15 on Kearney, 15 on Henry, 15 on Halzer, and then 3 on each of the 2 that are down.
I feel like however you split it up, we're essentially screwed here.
Yeah, I think this is the end. Um, but yeah, so it's 30. So it's essentially 2 rolls, the 20 and then a 10 chart. So with Henry and then the tenor. And your AC is 16 with Henry? Yeah, 16. So 7 is 11. That's 5 hits. And then the 6 is a 10, which is 2 more. So 7 more hits to Henry. And that's with 14 more. So what is that? 29, 43 damage to Henry.
Yeah, Henry is down.
That downs Henry. And then that's going to be 8 is 4. And the 16 is 4. So 8 more to, yeah, she can't stand up to 8 more. That'll take her down. And then I think with 3 attacking each of the down 2. Um, yeah, I think this room is going to be the official end of things as the Terracotta Warriors come alive, and essentially just through massive numbers are going to be piercing through each of you and ending the story of the Sages and Slayers. As through many times, many changes of main characters, the final end of Asarak's torture is going to be torture by a million cuts.
I like the visual. I like kind of, yeah. Should have listened to Wongo, though.